guys, and welcome to another edition of the vlog. So we are back. It is Whitney Watches Teen Wolf. We are back for season 5B. I apologize for the weird lighting. It's raining outside, so I've got like one light. I really haven't figured out how to make it look normal. Watch. Color change. At any rate, so if you see me holding this, it's just so that I actually look myself and not like really weird and orange. All right, so normally these Whitney Watches videos, they're more of a critical take on the series, things that I like, things that I don't, things that me as a writer that I pick up might be coming up in the future on the show. Some things that I have issues with as a feminist and as somebody who wants quality television. So you'll get a little bit of rantiness in there. For the most part, it is not a recap. So if you haven't seen the episode, please go watch it and then come back so that you know what I'm talking about. These videos do tend to go about 10 minutes or so, only because it's a lot of stuff when you consider that we're discussing a 40-minute show. 42 once you account for commercials. Okay, so this episode picked up exactly where we left off. Teen Wolf's season openers tend to do that, and make no mistakes, even though this is season 5B. 5A and 5B, typically, when a Teen Wolf season splits something up like that, it's two separate seasons. The first arc was the arrival of the Dread Doctors. That's where we ended off. And then this first one, it's Scott picking up the pieces of everything that happened on the supermoon. So we have two timelines going. We have the current timeline, and then we have the future timeline with Lydia, which really didn't get touched on much last season, but it looks like right now we are going to be closing the gap between those two timelines. So what exactly happened? So I'm really relieved to say that they didn't drag out the whole fallout between Scott and Stiles. Stiles clearly blames Scott for part of what happened to his father, that, you know, if Scott had listened to him, then maybe his dad wouldn't have been hurt. And obviously we don't know that for sure, but I did think it was very interesting that through all of this, Stiles kept hearing his dad talk to him, telling him that it was time to get up, that he needed to get up. And it was actually Stiles kind of flashing back on his mother's funeral and having to leave the casket. And that was, that was one of the most heartbreaking things I've seen on this show. I am going to say, I don't know that that was the best casting for a baby Stiles. Not nearly enough, like moles and things like that. Cute kid. He actually seemed more like a tiny little Scott. So I don't know. Lyndon is amazing as always. And so any episode where you get to have some nice meatiness that's about the father and the son, I absolutely love it. So let's get into the things that I can't really say what I think the season's about. I know a lot of it has to do with Parrish's and the real reason that the Dread Doctors are so interested in Parrish and the reason that they were willing to let Theo kind of run around on his own. It becomes clear in the future timeline that Parrish really is the core of all of this, and we still don't exactly know why. The giant mural that they found showed a hellhound going up against a big giant monster. I still have no idea what that goes with and why anything had to do with the supermoon. I mean, they're frustratingly vague about that. At least when it came to the lunar eclipse stuff, it was important because with the lunar eclipse, the wolves all lost their powers. So for that period of time, everyone was weak. Everybody was human. It drastically changed how things could happen. It wasn't like the supermoon made everybody stronger. I mean, maybe it was that the supermoon had more of a pull, but if that was the case, they didn't exactly go into that. Also, Teen Wolf's, one of the weakest spots of Teen Wolf is that they continue to kind of twist the canon. They change the rules, what things mean. So, in this particular episode, we met the last Chimera, the last teenager that was abducted, the one that turned into this big monstrous thing, the one that broke through Beacon Hills High School, and the one who hurt the sheriff. His name's Noah, and apparently he's part berserker. Now, if you're confused by this, as I am, he had like bone spurs sticking out. Like, we're talking like Wolverine bone spurs. And the thing that bothered me about this, well, actually, what's his name from the X-Men, the cartoon, the newer one, the one from the, I don't want to say it was from the late 90s, from 2000s, and now I can't remember. He had bone spurs too, well, except it was more like Noah's. By the way, I gotta say kudos to these guys for at least making most of the Chimera kids not white. I thought that was nice. So anyways, so Noah has these bone spurs. They figure out that's exactly what's been poisoning the sheriff. It's the presence of this foreign DNA inside of him. That's what's making him sick. So they're able to save the day on that. But they're saying it's a berserker. Now, it really wasn't that long ago that we had to deal with the berserkers. And a berserker was a person who was turned into a berserker and covered with bone. They were covered with bone. The bone wasn't part of them. So I'm really confused by this. Really confused. Teen Wolf, just stick to one thing. Please don't keep twisting it to make it cooler. If you had it one way before, just keep it that way. It will make things so much easier. The other thing that I took issue with is poor Lydia. Okay, so Lydia, and I gotta say, this is one thing that I didn't pick up was a Chekhov's gun kind of thing. In 5A, Scott had to use his claws, stick them in the back of, I think it was Corey, in the back of his neck to see what was going on. And he was really nervous about doing it because he was worried he was going to do it wrong. That he was going to wind up hurting someone. And what wound up happening? Theo not caring about how he got the information from Lydia, who jabbed her in the back of the neck. And it's left her in that catatonic state that we had seen her in Eichenhaus originally. But the problem with this is that Lydia is continuously punished for being the girl who knows things. And in a way that other characters aren't. Okay, so like Styles is usually threatened because he's human, right? Like he's the human weak link. With the Nogitsune, it just happened to be he was the person who wasn't necessarily as tethered as everyone else when they had gone under the ice bath. I mean, it wasn't necessarily anything because he was so smart, you know, he got too curious. We haven't had anything like that, really. And a lot of times, Styles' troubles come from his father being threatened because they know that Styles is smart, so they threaten his father. But instead, Lydia's smart, so she's the one who's punished. Jennifer tried to kill Lydia after trying to make her scream. Literally, that episode is called The Girl Who Knew Too Much. And, I mean, that seems to be the role that they have lumped Lydia in. The only good thing about this episode in Lydia is that we finally found out that she is that she is 18, so you can ship Marish without feeling creepy. Secondly, you know, like Lydia keeps being used by people for their own purposes. When we flash forward to the Eichenhaus future, Dr. what's his name, Barnack, whatever, creepy doctor dude, he drilled into her head so that he could help her boost her powers. Well, the whole thing, you know, he's saying it's in order to help her friends. I'm pretty dang sure it's just so that he can figure out how to defeat the Dread Doctors so he can figure out what they're doing so they can stop them. I mean, it's more of a self-preservation thing because he's been studying the Dread Doctors, right? He's the one who wrote the book. So anything involving him trying to fight the Dread Doctors is purely self-serving. He's very reminiscent of Peter in that aspect. So obviously I don't trust him. And the problem I have is that they just keep using it. Not only that, they keep using a lot of really sexualized imagery with Lydia when she's in trouble. Lydia in the shower with Parrish, you know, she was unconscious, and I think the implication is that she was using her brain. I mean, she was using her powers to try to tap into his. The link that they have both being linked with death in order to save the sheriff. And herself as well. But, you know, I mean, it was like there was this whole sexual thing, and it was hot, don't get me wrong, but then it was immediately soured by the fact that, you know, I don't really know what's going on with her, if it was really in Parrish's head, if it was her, you know, I mean, it makes it hard that this is the image of Lydia we're seeing. And that time and time again, the smart girl keeps getting punished for being smart, for caring, for getting involved. Things that I did like. There were a couple of really good one-liners in there. I love that Mason continues to be the happiest, brightest ray of sunshine in Teen Wolf. I really don't know what's coming up. I do know that, we have in the future, at some point in time, Theo's pack will be coming for Lydia, because naturally they want to use her as bait for the Hellhound. Oh boy, does that work. But an interesting thing I noticed is that in the flash forward, you never see Hayden. So my hope is that Hayden actually, even though she's been brought back, is using this as a chance to do the right thing. I mean, look at her. The first chance she has coming back from the dead, right? Before trying to find Theo, before trying to figure out anything else like this. She goes to the sheriff's department, presumably to check up on her sister after all of this. Then she goes back out to tell them exactly where all the bodies are at the Nemeton. Because if anyone, more than anyone else, she knows how important it is to let these families know where their children are. Now, I don't know what that means for the supernatural community, but at least they'll have these children to bury. Trying to think of other things. I don't know. I really don't know where this season's going. Just in case you didn't hate Theo more, it turns out the reason, and I'm guessing this is the reason why he's the Chimera who hasn't been a failure, because even Noah with his super Chimera-ness still had the mercury or whatever seeping out of his mouth, which means a failure and they're going to kill him. But I think the reason that Theo hasn't died is because his sister's heart, the transplant that he had that allowed him to become a Chimera, was so much closer a DNA match than anything else. I think that's probably why it succeeded. So I'm guessing it's maybe only people who've had familial transfers that'll be the actual key. So that's all I really got for you guys. I have no idea where this is going other than Scott's going to try to patch things up. I know eventually Kira's coming back. I know the doctor has an agenda of his own. Theo continues to have his own agenda. And eventually Scott and Stiles will make up. Although we still haven't had explained why Scott is healing as slowly as he is from the wounds he received on the supermoon. Maybe that'll get explained. Knowing Teen Wolf, probably not. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, comments, things that I might have missed, go on ahead and leave me a comment on this video. Leave a comment on the blog post that this video might be embedded in, or reply to the social media posts that you saw this on. You can find me all over the internet. I have a website. It's whitneydrake.com. I archive all of these there. Of course, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be posting these each and every week. Once Agent Carter comes back, though, I'm going to let you know. Agent Carter videos will be going up on the Wednesday after the episode airs, because they both air on Tuesday nights. So Agent Carter will be going first, and then Teen Wolf will be going up on Thursday. So you just kind of have to be aware of that. I love Agent Carter. And I enjoy Teen Wolf too, but right now I want to give Agent Carter a bit of a boost because I want them to have a lot more seasons. So I'm going to be doing those videos first. If you guys have any questions of anything, go ahead and leave comments. Sorry, I already said that. You can find me on the internet. I have Twitter accounts. I have Facebook, Instagram, and I'm on Tumblr, which is not safe for work always, but it's Tumblr. When is Tumblr safe for work? And you guys, I hope you have a great week. I'll see you back next time. Episode 512. I cannot pronounce the episode title. I will work on that by the time the episode airs so that I can hopefully say it, because it looks like it's Latin. Anyways, I hope you have a great week. I hope we get through this season. The tagline is "To Hell and Back," so maybe not. All right, talk to you guys later.